There we go. It's all right. I figured it out. I don't know why OBS decided to turn off my sound. I did. My mic is on now. It's all right. It's just I figured it out. I don't know why OBS decided to turn off my sound. I did. My mic is on now. It's all right. It's just I figured it out. I don't know why OBS decided to turn off my sound.
Let's grab.
I did. My mic is on now. It's all right.
Wow.
It's just I figured it out. No, I don't have access to my keyboard anymore because some cute kitty. I don't know why OBS decided to turn off my sound.
Let's
grab.
grab.
I did. My mic is on now. It's all right.
Wow. He's
I
really
figured it out.
sweet.
No, I don't have access to my keyboard anymore because some cute kitty. I don't know why OBS.
Don't worry. This is normal. This is what it's like when streamers are really
It's
cool.
all right.
You get to see them
I
just
figured
really
it out.
sweet.
Yeah,
Kind of do a lot of dumb things.
That's
not
cute
right.
kitty. I don't know why OBS.
Don't worry. This is normal. This is what it's like when streamers are really
It's
cool.
all right.
You get to see them
I
just
figured
really
it out.
sweet.
Yeah,
You better be dealing with a lot of repeating clips.
That's
not
cute
right.
kitty.
Repeating.
I don't know why OBS.
Don't worry. This is normal. This is what it's like when streamers are really
It's all right.
You get
The
to see them
remix?
just
What's
really
happening?
sweet. You better be dealing with a
What
lot
do you
of repeating
mean?
clips. That's not right.
Kitty.
Repeating.
I don't know why OBS.
Don't worry. This is normal. This is what it's like when streamers are really
It's all right.
You get
The
to see them
remix?
just
What's
really
happening?
You better be dealing with a
What
lot
do you
of repeating
mean?
clips.
Are we
That's
okay
not right.
now?
Am I functioning?
I don't know why.
Or are you just in
Don't
a
worry.
repeating madness
This is
loop?
normal. This
Because
is
that's
what
kind
it's
of cool,
like.
but not correct.
The remix? What's happening?
You better be dealing with a
What do you
lot of
mean?
to the
Are we
Goblin
okay
story.
now?
Am I
Repeating?
functioning?
I don't know why.
Or are you just in
Don't
a
worry.
repeating madness
This is
loop?
normal. This
Because
is
that's
what
kind of
it's
cool,
like.
but not correct.
The remix? What's happening?
You better be dealing with a
What do you
lot
mean?
to the
Are we
Goblin
okay
story.
now?
Why am I
Repeating?
functioning?
I don't know why.
Or are you just in a repeating madness
This is
loop?
normal. This
Because
is
that's
what
kind
it's
of cool,
like.
but not correct.
The remix? What's happening? Okay, well, I figured it out. No, I just fixed it. Whew. Don't worry, this is normal, I say as I force everything to loop 100,000 times. I'm assuming I fixed it. I'm honestly so confused, but I'm sure it's fine. It's the thing that you'd probably imagine it would have been, which is that my computer was playing it somewhere, but the number of tabs that I have are very many. So I don't know. Yeah, there's also a cat here today, who is definitely helping me, not at all making this difficult. But as long as he's here, he can hang out. This is Tom Bombadil. He's actually in a lot of trouble because Tom Bombadil decided to unplug my phone last night. So when I woke up this morning, it was at 20% battery. And this camera right here is actually my phone being used as a webcam. So it's plugged in, and hopefully while charging, it will not die during the stream. But I'm dubious. I can't even see what the battery percentage is right now, to be honest. So hello and welcome to the Goblin's Oracle Dice launch party. I think I've made my posts just about everywhere. Right? You know what I think I didn't do? Yep, I didn't hit that yet. Bam. All right, now my posts are everywhere. Somebody, we don't know who, but somebody forgot things. Oh, Vincent. Yeah, I use tab grouping. It just doesn't change the fact that I have so many tabs open. I guess I had the launch party open, and I also had the actual campaign page open in like two different tabs and browsers. So I could see how it might end up becoming a horrible repeating mess. But check it out. We're here for dice today. Faye, that would be really, really confusing if Tom Bombadil came out of the Lord of the Rings and unplugged my phone. I really thought my battery percentage showed on this app that turns my phone into a camera. I guess we'll find out. So, today we're here for Oracle Dice, and I really, desperately, hugely would love to do some readings for folks. Oh my gosh. I just found a weird thing. A piece of paper of some kind got trapped under this early prototype box that I have never used. It's making a crinkle noise. That's not necessary. Anyways, Ashes and Ink. Question about tiers. As someone who has the OG set just in a bag, is there a way to get the Seasons box? Yeah, there is. The box is actually available for $5. It's the empty box. It's just the empty box. So if you just wanted to get this to put all your stuff in, you could do that really easily. Bonita, you use the Oracle Dice for your monthly forecast. Yay! I love that. Yeah, I just started using my phone as a second camera. I got these app dealios that make it work. Oh, thanks, Tom. Okay, well, Tom just stole the Seasons dice here. Took spring into spring to disrepair. Wow. Tom, you need to stop trying to eat it. Are you going to get up and try to leave with it? I don't think so. He got that in his teeth and he was like, all right, I'm going. I got to take this somewhere where it's safe for my mouth to eat. The trick is, Tom, it's not safe for your mouth to eat. This butt. Is the campaign already up? No, the campaign goes live in like 50 minutes. So, yeah, we're just hanging out on the lead up to this. Reading says bite. We have absolutely been blessed. Tom, what do you think? What do you think, buddy? Which one is your favorite? You like the orange one? Here, you pick. Ooh, we have sex. You don't get to do that. Society told me I had to take your genitals. I'm so sorry. Oh, he's rolling. He's rolling. Oh, okay. He took the fist off of here. What else you got, bud? Oh, all right. He's throwing soul away. We don't need our souls. Okay, he's trying desperately to just put these in his mouth. Tom, you could at least bat them all around really cute like and not try to eat them. Come on, what about this one? Do you care about the autumn dye? Is that important to you? Do you want down? Is that what's happening? It's hard to say. Cats have difficult wills. All right, well, Tom put these dice way out and out of the picture, so we will respect that. Tom is an expert diviner, and we know better than to question a cat, I think. So we have sex in the core. We also have tin over here in material, and I'm bringing that up immediately because I'm like, which one are you again? Because I always mix up lead and tin because I'm not actually super familiar with alchemical symbols. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, y'all are so sweet and kind. Thanks for being sweet. Let's actually try to do a reading out of this. In the core, we have sex, which is verging on spirit, telling me there's like definitely a big desire for probably physical intimacy of some kind. Did you just steal Winter? That was part of our reading. All right, well, he re-rolled it. All right, Tom, stop rubbing on the microphone. They probably hear that. Over here in mind, we have void. Tom, we just added that back to the reading. And void is telling me that in mind, there's basically like nothing happening relating to this. You're not thinking or using your logic or like proper thought process through anything. All right, mister, you're just being chaos. Way out in spring because Tom put them there, and they were lost in spring, which means that they left the cloth and were knocked away. Tom! I'm going to have to add a bit in the guidebook about what it means when your cat knocks things away. Oh no. Tom, you're inspiring a 45th die. The Tom Bombadil die. I probably can't name it Tom Bombadil. I'd probably get in trouble. Every time that I think a die is safe, he was like, I think not. It's true. I didn't put in the chaos die, so Tom decided that he would assist. Except now I just threw it. Oh no. Whew. All right, Tom did finally leave. That means that I'm supposed to like respect what actually happened here, right? Way out in spring, these dice were lost. That means that they left the table or cloth, but they were lost in spring because they were lost in that quarter. We have the fist and fire because in your mind we have void, which means you're not thinking logically about what you're experiencing right now. There's just things that are like over the top of you that are very passionate and full of energy and taking direct action, but you are not taking part in that. In body, we have binary. This is how you physically are interacting with the world. Binaries tell me that you probably are only doing things until you no longer have to do things. You're kind of acting on autopilot. I'm definitely reading like an on-off switch for what you feel like you have to do for other people. Over here, material, again, we have tin, which is the wise man's metal. It's something that lets you know that you need other things to make things function well, because tin is on its own not particularly strong, but when it mixes other things, it becomes really great. So tin, being utterly alone here is probably not a good sign. It means that you need other things to come together to support you at the moment. And over here in spirit, this was totally lost. Tom threw this on the ground. This is the works face of the autumn die. And way over here, we had moon, which was also lost over here. This reading's like vaguely empty then, thanks to the cat, who decided that all of the dice that could tell us things, they have gone away. Aw, Shan, thanks. I do have a cute little haircut. I'm supposed to be wearing my cute little hat too, but I forgot it in my room. So that's just life. There's definitely a pervasive feeling that in your heart, you're supposed to be doing work. You're also supposed to be treading different paths to find your right way through. But since they're way out here lost, there are things that aren't happening right now. So whoever this reading is for is in a place of stasis. There's action happening around them. They need things to make everything work, but they're just not taking part. So, okay. Who has an actual question? Because I would love to do some readings. I would love to make things weird and tell everyone about what you're going through. Describe the hat, though. Very important. Shan, if I describe the hat, then I should just go get the hat. I mean, it's not like it's particularly far away. Also, while they do look like this, I do have the new 22 dice set. I mean, there's 21 of the dice. um, this is the new things, and I'm happy to read with it, even though they look a little silly and not as pretty. Define actual question. Ashes, questions or whatever they are. How can you tell me about my health? Yeah, of course. I would love to do health readings. Bonita, Kim, I'm doing things for you. Dumb little hat acquired. All right, let's do a health reading. Um, oh yeah, let's use the new key keepers. Benita, let's go. Ooh, lost over there. All right, Benita, we have nothing in the core. Way out in spring, and there's one also lost in spring. We have Woon, Hearth. Woon is a die that focuses on things like hearth and home and the start of the day. Hearth is telling me that a lot of what's happening in your spring, which is to say the larger things affecting your mind and how you're thinking about things, is a sense that you need to really start setting the table. This means you need to get into routine for the start of the day. You have to really create routine. That means making a nice breakfast for yourself, getting out, maybe going on a short walk for a little while. That's something that is maybe pervasive in your mind space at the moment. And then lost in spring is sin, secrets. Secrets is a pretty complicated one. It's suggesting that there are things involved right now that you need to know about, but that it won't come around till later. Relating to health, this could mean something that you've kind of had your eye on, but you haven't done anything about, and maybe it is time soon to actually go to, a practitioner or whoever to just talk to them about things that you've been concerned about, because they might have thoughts and ideas that can help you take better action. In body, we have nothing. In material, we have everything. We have weir for the stealing face. We have mal, yearning. We have fell. That's tell, horse, and fell over here is the falling moon. Okay. As a loose triangle here, it looks like there is really strong work going on around you, a yearning for things to occur, and the falling moon. This is like generally saying that around you, among other people, um, there is strong labor being done to somehow support you in your health. I also see that with the falling moon, we're definitely talking about the start of a space where others may be interacting with their intuition. And these things are supporting the sense that there is an important barrier or a ceiling being put up and placed at the moment. Because this is happening in material, which is usually how the world is affecting you, I'm not 100% certain that any of this is actionable for you necessarily, other than to say it'd be worth looking at other people and trying to understand what they're up to, and how it might relate to your health. Going with hearth that we had at the start, I would say this probably relates to your need for some kind of daily routine or ritual that focuses on your health. Uh, Other people may either be doing things that cause you to have difficulty in maintaining that routine, and then in that case, this would be actionable in saying it might be time for you to talk to people and be like, I need some boundaries, actually, because you all need a lot of things from me, and it prevents me from looking after myself very well. In spirit, I see fuel pathfinding. Fuel. Ooh, it seems like you're definitely like on heart and spirit on a journey. You are looking for things right now, and I would say that this is probably why there's nothing in mind, because your heart is kind of wandering on this journey, and because of that, you're not spending a lot of time thinking in a rational sense about what you need to do for yourself and your health. Nothing here seems negative, in that I don't see anything in health that's saying like anything bad is happening. But the secrets that's over here does tell me like you're going to be finding out something soon, that is going to change what's present here in the reading. What you know will change, right? So I would definitely say be patient. You need answers first. So you just said like you have some tests coming up. So you're like, okay, cool. We'll come back around to that. For now, I'd say maintain yourself in nice, clean, easy routine, and that will take care of you for a while. All right, Kim, you also asked for one. Um, I want to do some kind of mixture of things, right? Oh, we want some of these. We want some seasons. Ooh, I feel really dumb. Where's my other guy? One, two, three. Autumn, please. There you are. All right, Kimber. Let's see. Okay. In the core, we have Frost telling me that there is a barrier. It's verging on material. It's actually kind of on body as well. This is telling me that your relation to other people and your health is both limiting you and how you can affect other people and how other people can interact with you. You're probably pushing yourself a little bit too often, and that's leading to this sort of ice barrier. Things are slowing down and freezing in place because you just keep pushing to give and pushing to take, and at this point it's just slowing to a crawl, probably because you're feeling like you're slowing. In your mind, I see time and disrepair. It seems like you're experiencing a lot of worry about maybe aging and how your body is changing, especially how it's slowing down, since that's core to the reading. And a lot of that fear seems to be really focused on the sense that if you had done this and this, you would be in a better state now. If you had, if you'd worked out more, you wouldn't feel slow now. And I would just, give you the kind advice there that time does just kind of happen to all of us no matter what. So it's probably not worth spending all your time thinking about what you could have done to make what's happening now a little easier. Instead, it's more interesting to probably look at what is happening now to start making accommodations for what you do need as far as patience and rest can go. We have sword and shield here in body, and we also have diamond. The sword and shield and the diamond, these are actually from the Game Taker's dice. Sword and shield tells me that you have all the tools that you need to actually deal with things right now. And the diamond tells me that you've actually set up systems in place, likely, that took a lot of time to get you to the state that you're in right now. I would say that as far as advice goes, you already have the things you need to handle things that make you feel like things have slowed down. And a lot of it's just going to be accepting them. A lot of that just has to do with, hey, actually, I don't need to do all these things. And I can start scheduling myself in a way where I have the tools that I need to survive this, expensive or difficult energy expenditure experience. You have great things going on in your life. So, I would just hold on. I would just hold on. It's all good. Over here in material, we have the train. It's telling me also that you have support structure around you that can help you and that can get you places and even make plans for you so that you don't have to spend as much time driving yourself to every single thing. And I don't necessarily mean driving literally, but also maybe let other people drive sometimes. Let other people make a plan for a place for you to go and just go along and don't have to spend as much time and energy on this. Over here in winter, we have radiance. Radiance is telling me that there is a lot of really radiating lovely goodness going on out here in winter that is weighing over you. That's really awesome. I think that might also be part of why you feel that you're losing everything. You feel like things are slowing down, and because it's slowing down, you're not going to be able to do all the things you wanted to, and that means things go away. You see all this really awesome stuff outside of you, and that puts you in a position where you feel the FOMO and the left out if you don't take part in everything. But like sometimes letting some things go so that you can do other things would just be really, really nice. To give yourself a little bit of patience. So do that. Have patience. Cut out a few activities here and there when you know you don't need to. You've already done them year after year. Do the ones that really inspire you, or for things that you feel are really, really difficult and adding a lot of stress, let someone else plan it and just go along. Even if it's not the way you would have done it, taking part without having to put in the mental energy to plan it is actually really huge. All right. Let's see. I have Benita. Yep. Kim, got it. Amanda, me. I'm on the verge of starting something new and I'm so stuck on what's next. Okay, Amanda, let's do that. Also, I see D that you asked and then deleted, but I'm going to answer anyways. You asked if I ever cleansed my dice. I did for my original set. That's it. I will bless things at the start of using tools, and then unless something weird happens, I usually don't bless them again or cleanse them in any way. I find that the dice are pretty good at just picking up what I'm doing at the moment, and so I'm usually not too worried. I don't know. Hello, Ostina. Hello, Nick2. Hey, Ragamancer friend. Oh, D, you're fine. I just wanted to answer because I read it while I was doing the reading. And I was like, I shouldn't pause readings to answer questions. I should answer afterwards. All right. So, Amanda Brennan, you have questions about y'all's projects. And I see you just posted again, so I know that you're here. I'm going to do something I never do, and I'm actually going to split up the seasons dice. I want this, and I want... When they're all shuffled together like this, they're actually so hard to look at. Project. We're definitely doing a project. Yeah, obstacle influence. That's what I want. Hello, Megan. All right, Amanda. We hitting. Let's go. Let's go, my friend. Oh no, Tom Bombadil's roving around. Hopefully he doesn't get on the desk again. In the core, we have sacrifice on the actions die. Sacrifice is telling me that, and it's kind of verging on mind a little bit, sacrifice is a time when you are really letting go of something. It's something really personal to you. It's suggesting to me that doing this project, whatever it is requiring you to give up something else. So maybe there was something else you were working on, and that's something that's been weighing on you because you're really worried about how the project is going to go, especially because you had to give up something. You're on the verge of starting something new and you're so stuck on what's next. Okay, that's really good then. One of the core things that you're worried about at the moment is that you're going to have to let go of other things that you were doing or other things you planned to do in order to start this. Oh, spring verging on mind. Oh no, my voice can't start going out. I have a lot of live streams planned. We have arcane. This tells me that there are influences outside of yourself that you're very concerned about. Oh no. When it's arcane, I think about this as something that like you have no real knowledge of, and it's something that you feel like you're kind of at the whims of something beyond yourself. That's a big part of the sacrifices. You're worried that if you give up what you're doing now to work on a new thing, the things that actually will influence you and decide whether or not it's successful, for example, are completely out of your hand. Over here in body, we have peace and we have the monarch butterfly. Peace is telling me that you are in kind of a patient place. You're not doing things right now. You're probably waiting to pick what you're working on next, and that's really bugging you because you feel like the longer you wait to pick, the more you're not getting anything done. We have the monarch butterfly up here in body. My voice is getting deeper. This is weird. Someone save me. It's telling me that there is kind of like a final form of something that's already moving between what you were doing to what other people are doing, because it's sitting here on the edge of material. This is definitely letting me know that you've actually finished something recently, but it's leaving your hands and it's becoming part of like the general ecosystem that other people have control over. And because of that, you're feeling really kind of left out of making choice. And that's why you need a new thing. I do have water. I have the biggest water imaginable. Thank you, Liz. Hydration check. Way out in summer, we have sex on the spring die. This is sometimes a need for intimacy, like literal sexual intimacy, but more often it's more of like a bodily need for connection. I'm seeing that there's probably a little bit of space that probably emphatic. I love that, Benita. It's so true. The reason I'm losing my voice is because you feel like you don't have a voice. The divination is working through me. So yeah, you definitely need other people, I would say, for whatever you're working on. And there's a sense that maybe you won't have access to them as much. Over here in material, we have Mercury. This suggests that other people have material or are bringing you things that are super duper open and free range and could be used in any kind of way. And I think that's why you're kind of struggling with what thing you're deciding to do here. In Wheel, on material, I am seeing obsession. You know you have to do this project because you really, really need to stay with it. As someone who is me, I will say that considering it's verging on Wheel, I'm going to say this is probably good. You're really, really focused on this thing. However, my dear friend, don't let yourself become obsessed with the thing to the point where you put everything into it all the time, because that's how you lose track of things and make big mistakes. So even though it's in Wheel, which is good, I will just warn you, I will just warn you. Don't get too obsessed. But it is saying your obsession is good here. And then finally, you have the anchor within winter here. Deep inside, the thing you want to work on is kind of an anchor project in your heart, and it's something that you're not willing to let go of. That makes it immediate that you have to do this, right? You have to work on this. So give up the other things you're working on to work on it. It looks like it's the right thing to do. Otherwise, you're feeling really just kind of aimless. So just go for it. Just do it. I believe. Don't be afraid. You will have to let go of other things, but that's all right. All right. I will answer some questions. I'm just seeing who is next in order. Liz wanted a health reading. Who is the next one? All right, Liz, we'll get to it. Answering some questions real quick. Hey, Sacha did ask about how to pick which dice and how many to read with. I usually say that if I'm doing a intermediate reading like this, I want 8 to like 12 dice. I don't ever read with all 22. I'm just not super interested. It's just too chaotic and it's not very fun. So I would say picking 8 dice is good. With the season set, you usually can just start with the 4 seasons dice. For the Keykeeper set, you can start with the 7 Keykeeper dice, and then you can just add dice that relate to your question. Like that one was about projects. So I was thinking about the Mariner's die, which is about journeys, which always relates. Influences really fits well, like how are things being influenced in this project, what are the things you have to look out for that are outside of yourself. The obstacles die is really helpful for knowing what kind of roadblocks you might be hitting. The Goblin's die is itself focused on projects, so I thought that was a shoe-in. The Alchemist die also relates to projects because alchemy is a process, so all of those just jumped out to me as things I wanted to use. The Monarch's die or the Metamorphosis die also relates to a project, which is the life cycle of the Monarch. So those just seem great. And the actions die just jumped out to me as like, what can this person do, or what are they trying to do? So whenever I get a question, I just pick dice that give me the vibes of relating to it. And then sometimes I usually pick like a die that feels like a little bit of an outsider. In this case, it'd probably be the Mariner's die. It felt a little bit out there, so I grabbed it. Yeah, Faye, thank you. The book also talks about that a little bit. Wise Witch, heard about you through Grumpy Old Crone. Can't wait to support the project. Thank you so much. Yeah, I loved that video. That was so sweet. I know that Annie's doing some other videos too for the Oracle Dice after she has a little more time to work with them. And I will be on there to talk about the Oracle Dice on her channel in the near future. All right, Liz, you had a question about your health. We have a lot of people who would love to do health readings, and I think that's lovely. So I'm going to grab some kind of weird options. I'm going to throw this in, and we're going to get a little mixy here. I want, from the Key Keepers, we're going to throw in Tell. Where might be helpful for things you need to know? All right. Health, life, balance, interest. Am I making excuses and not being able to do things? Okay. Oh, we have a lost eye already. And it was the horse. Lost in winter. Ooh. Okay. I made it sound like that was bad. I'm sorry. Ooh. Okay, let's start here. Core verging on mind here. We have the strays. It's telling me that am I making excuses and not being able to do things? Who all's coming to you needing things? Strays here is telling me like there's a lot of experience where people need you, and that's really stretching you thin. I would say that that's a big part of why you might be making excuses, not being able to do things, because you have a lot happening here. People really, really need your help, and they seem kind of lost without you, which is why you keep feeling like you have to help. Ironically, we have the tongue wound here at the top of this triangle in mind, supported by Rowan. Okay, other people keep coming to you expecting support and protection. It's so weird how just seeing this here, I already guessed these just by its position, but now I'm looking at it and it makes even more sense what I was just saying. We love intuition. So there are people coming to you. They need support and protection. You have the tongue wound because you feel like you can't tell them no. And that's why you're making up excuses instead of just saying no. The obvious answer here of advice for just this triangle is that you need to be able to tell people no when you don't have the space to give them without making excuses. You just have to be able to say like, hey, okay, here's the deal. I don't have the space for this right now. I want to be helpful and supportive. Is there another way I can do that in a more minor way? Are there other people you can talk to? I can't always be the rock for other people. Probably important lesson to take from just those three already. We do have a kindness and gift here. There is love and kind of a heart struck. We have Fells, Falling Moon again, and Wounds. Foxglove, Out in Summer. Ooh, that's such a good lesson. Okay, so first of all, in the Falling Moon, I'm telling you right now that you probably just need time to rest. There is kind of a little through line here of like love or support. Other people can support you, but this might be the time to support yourself in a resting period. Let yourself have time for your own dreams and your own rest. This is not telling me anything about you needing to do other things for other people. Way Out in Summer, I have the warning of Foxglove. Foxglove is something that is medicinal in small doses and then lethal in large doses. You need to learn the lesson for yourself of not overextending yourself and not putting all of your time and effort into other people's stuff. You need to be patient and do so in medium doses. One of the problems of supporting people all the time when they come to you is that they also become completely dependent, and it robs them of their ability to take care of themselves. So you have to be able to give out a little at a time. When you think, I need to do thing XYZ for someone, or else they won't know what to do, do thing X and tell them what Y and Z are so they can try to do it for themselves. There's nothing here from other people supporting you. That tells me a lot. Not great. Other people need to maybe pull their weight in helping you out a little bit here. This is maybe a good sign that because there are no dice here for this particular reading, it's time for you to ask for people. Over here in spirit, we do have emergence, and we also have lost out here, horse. So emergence as an obstacle for your spirit is telling you that you're probably struggling a little bit with accepting people coming out to be themselves at the moment. That is a big part of why you keep supporting them and maybe babying them a little bit. Babying them. You're not letting them stand on their own. Part of that is you feel like they won't be able to do it without you. Part of that is being a little bit unwilling to let them do it on their own. That's a complicated one, but for yourself and for your own health, I would say just you have to let other people try to do it. You have to let other people try to take care of themselves. And again, it's you, if you're going to do X, Y, Z for them, do X and tell them about Y and Z. The lost horse here. This was lost to the reading, meaning it fell off here and rolled off. I don't know, I'm holding it up here. You guys can't see anything. There's no like symbol. It's just my handwriting. It says tell horse. But being the strong workhorse for other people is something that's going to bite you in the ass, right? Like if you are always pulling the carts, if you're always the horse that everyone's riding to get places, you're doing all the labor. You just can't do that anymore. And I'm going to say that because this is a lost die and it comes back later in the future, this is just a really good sign that like it won't be long now before you feel like all you do is be the workhorse for everyone else. So let go of that. Let go of that necessity. Stop viewing people as strays as well, maybe, is a really helpful thing for that. If you stop thinking that they won't be able to do it, or that they're just like a sad little stray kitty that you need to get milk and kibble for, and realize like they've been hunting, they're on the street, that they've been surviving on their own. That might just be a helpful mental shift for how you view the people coming to you for assistance. All right. Okay, after Liz. Who knows? Oh no, there's so many words in this. Ashes and ink. Can I request the dice's take on redefining identity in the aftermath? Okay. I'm wondering if you have the time, if you can give me a reading about my current job. Wise Witch, I would love to. I plan to be on here for another like hour and 20 minutes, so I will try to get through everyone's stuff fairly quickly. Let's see. Identity. Ashes. Rebuilding, you say. I want actions. Let's grab loyalties. Where do you put your loyalties? We don't need that one. Redacted. Zeta, I'd be happy to answer technical questions. Nick2, you did ask, when you roll, do you aim for the center, since where the dice fall and grid affect the meanings? Yes. So every time that I roll, you see me shake, and then I don't cast in any direction, I drop them. So, like that. That's how I always do it, and that's how I've always done it. It's just my preferred method. All right, let's have a look. Again, this is for Ashes and Ink. You were asking about how to rebuild in the aftermath. Number one, I'm already seeing the need to give a gift. Do a reading on whether the new Buffy show will be any good. Oh, yeah, I'll do that one. A need to give gift. This isn't verging or anything. It's kind of just clear in the core. And liberation from the redacted die. There's a sense that coming through the aftermath of whatever thing you're dealing with, because of how much it has cleared things and made kind of a new slate, there is space for liberation for yourself from difficulties that are unfolding. The liberation on this die face is typically about sexual liberation, because this die is from the Housewives die. It's like coming from the 50s. So, goodness gracious. It's right here next to the scar. You've been freed from something that was really difficult and heavy in this process of approaching this aftermath, whatever this aftermath is. And because of that, you're now free to make new choices. You're still going to bear the scar of what happened before, so you still have the lesson learned, but you get to explore yourself, either identity or um, this one typically deals with sexual energy in some way. So I feel like you're going to have a new space to be open with yourself in a way that you haven't been before, in a way that you can be fulfilling for yourself in a very personal way. That's available to you now. Up here in Woe, kind of on spring, is the diamonds. Tell me that you've maybe spent a lot of time, too much time, making really pretty shiny things. And in doing so, led to this situation that led to where you are now, the aftermath. I spent a lot of time making something pretty, but it's not very useful when you have to go back to basics. This is a really good warning for you and your plans next. It's to stop making large plans, stop making plans that lead to something really, really good later. Start making simple, easy id plans. Start doing things that scratch the itch for you right now. That is what I'm seeing in the first 3 days. Out here in summer, and I'll bring them onto camera a little bit, we have isolation, and we also have capital from the loyalties die. It's telling me like you might want to just spend some time focusing on yourself, making money. It's telling me like you need to have a little bit of a focus on making money. That might be a place where you just need to create a foundation for yourself again, because cutting things out of your life probably took away money. This is like the first time I've like put money really explicitly in the dice set, and it's actually a really important element that sometimes I ignore. Also in body, right here on the edge of without, is the helm from the actions die. It's telling me that like a lot of the work that you're going to be doing right now is going to be just weathering the storm. You're going to be working, maybe doing jobs that you don't super care about, but it'll be isolating in a way that's really helpful because you are now focused on yourself and creating new spaces for you. Way out here in autumn, just because it's off camera, I want to let you know, we have ruin. This is the obstacles die. It is basically the tower. And it was sitting way out in autumn. It's not lost. It doesn't mean it's coming back later. It's definitely happening now, but it feels like there's a massive shift in what other people can give to you physically, whether that's finances or not. It seems like maybe your job has changed here, or your situation in a income space has shifted in a dramatic way. But most definitely, other people aren't here to support you, and they will not be able to aid you very much in what you're doing. So this is something for you to really like consider. The focus here is all on you. You kind of have to drive yourself from here on. And in spirit, we have the lantern. It's telling me that you'd like to share your space with other people. A small, maybe intimate group of other people, just, 2 or 3. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but everything else is telling me that you really need to focus on what you want to accomplish right now, and especially in tiny little goals ways. Do something sweet and nice for yourself. Give yourself little gifts, whatever that might be. Do things that are personal a lot more than they are group oriented. You don't need to take care of other people right now. This is definitely a you. So yeah, let other people go for right at the moment, and stop trying to make diamonds. Right now you need to make like yummy, delicious garbage food that you can eat for yourself, because you need to take care of you. And in kind of hunkering down, to answer the actual question there, and hunkering down and just kind of focusing on you, setting up a new basis for you that supports you and fulfills your wants and needs, you're actually going to create a better space for you to explore things with maybe another person again. But you have to be happy with yourself first. And that's always the first step. All right. Ashes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Ragamancers. Oh, my dear Rosewood. Rosewood. Oh, I can't move that. Ragamancers, my dear friend. if you have your question and you are prepared, let me know what it is. Otherwise, I'm going to answer questions for a moment. Tim Jennings Hill, can you give me a general reading? I would love to. It'll just be a little bit. It looks like I've got probably 2 or 3 more people before you. Zeta, my technical questions. Would it be harmful to roll the dice for stimming because that's not their purpose? I think I could not stop myself from rolling them after reading just because it tingles my brain and it's fun. That was Charlie jumping in. Okay. Charlie, no, it's not harmful to roll the dice for stimming. One of the things I have in the FAQ is that the dice are as sacred as you make them to be. If you are approaching them as they are a sacred tool for your divination practices, cool. Hop on it. Stay in it. If they are a fun psychological tool or storytelling tool, then that's what they are. If they are a fun stimming tool in between being sacred or a storytelling tool, do that. There's nothing wrong with it. I roll these dice all the time. Like, that was just kind of a fun little roll. I like putting the dice on the mat. I like where they go. I like their shapes. They're really pretty and fun. Clicky clacks. So that'd be fine. Zeta, your tech question. The last time I caught up with the Oracle dice, only the season set was available. Would you mind doing a quick intro on the new players since then? Oh, Zeta, that's super easy. It's going to be all over the campaign page when that goes live here in 8 minutes. But long story short, there is a new 22 dice set. And the 22 dice set is called the Keykeeper set. It starts with the 7 Keykeepers. Obviously, these are just dice with like stickers on them because I don't have these manufactured. And then it has the 5 dice from the Hot Housewives Deluxe Edition. It also has the 5 dice from the Misery Tarot Deluxe Edition. It also has a standard D6, and then it has, see if I can easily find it among everything, the 3 dice that were from the Alleyway Oracles. There's also a D12 that I don't have here because I didn't want to put stickers on a D12 and try to write tiny things on it, but it's an astrology die, basically. And this is the Keykeeper set. The Keykeeper set focuses on the 7 core dice, and then you can mix and match other dice as you see fit. So far, it's reading very similarly in so far as having breadth and depth to this season set, but it also is hitting a bunch of new topics. A couple faces among here are similar to ones in the other one, but everything else is super different. So getting this would just be a way to learn a new set, but also then you can start mixing and matching across them, and it gets a lot more granular in focusing in on particular questions and answers. That's just my finding. I haven't met the Alleyway Misery Housewives or Keykeepers at all. It's a lot of dice. What you are going to love, Zeta, is that I do talk about them on the project. There's also a 50-minute video on my YouTube where I talk about every face of every die. So I highly suggest watching that. You can just go onto my YouTube page from this launch party video and find that. And also it's on the campaign page. So thank you for the question. I'm really excited about the Keykeeper set because I didn't realize how much the Keykeepers set would add. I was hesitant. Yeah, Benita, we haven't launched yet. So in 6 minutes, the campaign launches, and then you will be able to actually start selecting things. All right. Ragamancers, you did ask. I'm feeling overwhelmed and pulled in many directions. How do I prioritize and protect my energy? All right. Let's do the movement die because I haven't done that yet. You need a little play. I want fears. Where are you? That's weapons. Weapons is good. We like weapons, actually. That's fear. It's loyalties, which relates to your question. I've already got quite a few dice here. All right, Ragamancers, let's hit it. Ooh, key. Well, you literally just asked this, and the core is fire. And we kind of have the gift on the edge. Fire is determining where your energy and passion goes. So yeah, we already knew that. That was your question. You feel pulled in many directions. How do you prioritize and protect your energy? Well, it's telling me that you're gifting your energy. It's connected to body. It's what you're handing out. Okay, we're already there. But what do we got? the Tenderizer in mind. This is the weapons die from the Misery Tarot dice. The Tenderizer is telling me that you're experiencing just constant smashing. Tenderizer is warning you that you are just constantly letting your brain get hit by the meat tenderizer. It's not going to likely do lasting damage unless it just keeps going forever, but it's spreading the damage around. This means that everything you're thinking about, no matter what you're thinking about anymore, is kind of being affected by this problem. It doesn't matter if you're thinking about things that are utterly unrelated to everything you're doing for everyone else. It's affecting you just across the board. We also, this is my favorite, out in spring, the general energy you should bring to your mind is stop. Now is the time for you to stop. You need to stop giving out right now. Body, we have ideals. The reason that you are doing all of this work for other people and constantly like pushing out in every direction is because you have a strong moral code going on here that's telling you that you have to. If you can offer help, you should, is where you're at right now. Right here between body and material, I'm seeing from the longings die, you are longing to be held. You are longing to have someone else hold and baby you the way that maybe you've been doing for other people, but especially just to give you rest. The feeling that someone's going to take you up and say, you don't have to do this for other people anymore. Just take a moment, take a break. In material, we have emergence as an obstacle again. This is very much like another reading that we've already had here, which was your fair warning that in the same way that you feel like you have to do a lot of different things for other people, you do need to take some time for yourself to recognize that other people are able to handle themselves. And just because they tell you about a problem doesn't mean you have to find a solution. Sometimes people will come to you to tell you issues. And I go through this a lot where people come to me to tell me a problem. And then my first thought is, how can I help you? How can I fix this for you? Just let them tell you about the problem and commiserate with them without making active efforts to work with them. I'm also getting the sense that this might not just be other people in general. It might also just be you're going in many directions on your own. So be patient to let other people handle things on their own. I do have a fear of abandonment hit with the crown of the majors out here in winter. This is telling me that one of the core reasons that you really hold to this idea that we should support one another is a key feeling that if you aren't useful to someone else, they don't necessarily need to keep you around. And this is one of those really difficult moments where you have an ideal here. You have clear morals that, like, if someone needs something, you assist them. But even though you believe that, and it's still true on its own, you also have this kind of capital fear here that if you aren't useful, they won't stay. And I think that this is a beautiful lesson to learn of let someone who comes to you and needs help just complain to you about what they need without giving them help or trying to solve it for them, and realize that they'll keep coming to you to see you on days that they don't need help. And that's going to be a beautiful moment to, fully internalize that you are a wanted and desired person for your own benefits, not just the things you can do for them. All right. We have 1 minute until launch. That means that the launch party page should swap over. Oh no, it just happened. I'm still live streaming on the page, so you can come to the page now, and for the next hour, I'll still be here. Hello, everyone. But we have just gone live. That means that you can now begin looking at pledge tiers and backing things. You will notice that there are already people who have backed the project. This is Patreon people who got access yesterday to come in and pledge for things. But we are now beginning the process of actual pledges. Let's see. I want to see the backer train, so I'm going to refresh the page. All right. Yeah, backer train. There it is. Now you can see it. That's cute. Nick 2 Jr. Oh, and what does it mean if a die lands outside the season circle? So this first circle with the colors in it is like the inner circle, and this is like personal. So if it lands in mind, this is what you're thinking about. Now, if it lands outside of here in the outer area, this black area that says spring, this is now out in spring. When they're out here, they're usually not things that you yourself are either thinking, doing, have done to you, or feeling. That's what these four are about. These are things that are generally in the world around you. So if it's lost in spring, or if it's out in spring, it just means that this is what other people might be thinking or might be affecting you. Vincent, when you're on the main page, you can click open chat. It's just under the video on the bottom right. You can click open chat and it'll reopen the chat for you. So it's on the project page. You have to open it. All right. Oh boy, I really just should have started writing down people's names to find out what order I have here. Okay, where was Ragamancers? There you are. Give Coffee. I think Give Coffee pulled out because you were working. Is that true? Give Coffee, if you're still here, it's time for your reading. Someone said that they pulled out because they actually had to go to work. Ooh, Vincent, I missed your question. How much will the new book for the already existing dice be different from the previous book? Not a ton. The dice meanings aren't changing much. I'm changing what's in front and behind the dice. That's what is mostly being adjusted. Additionally, it comes with the cheat sheets and the Lord cards. So you don't necessarily have to, but if you want the cheat sheets as cards, they come with the book. That's just how they come. So that would be my suggestion. Also, I'm going to do my best to cover things that the previous book didn't cover, like what it means to read in shadow, because I mention it in the book all the time, but I never defined it, which I think is terrible of me. Give Coffee, you're here. Cool. All right. Cool. I've been feeling stuck, kind of in stasis, and really struggling to do more than the minimum for several months, a year really, and I'd love a reading to maybe figure out how to get past that. All right. Well, we have to talk about what the wound is. That's an important part. Who's involved? What is your path, maybe? Ooh, this is already a bunch of dice. All right, let's take a look. Oh no, I hit the camera with my hat. That's incredibly funny. Okay. We have nothing in the core. We have things that are kind of tipping on the core, but I'm not counting them. So we're going to start over here in spring. For mind, I'm seeing a spotlight. Give Coffee. I think that you're experiencing something right now where you feel like you're really on the spot, and that's why you're really aware of feeling like you're stuck and struggling to do anything. You feel like there's a lot of expectations for what you should be doing. And because of that, it makes it even harder to act. This could be other people who are looking at you, other people who are talking about what they're accomplishing, and as a result, you feel like they're expecting you to tell you what you're doing. That's hard. Out in spring, I see self. This tells me you have a general feeling of being fairly alone. And that is a lonely space, but it's not focused on isolation. It's just like you feel like everything that's going on is just about you right now. Everything is really focused on you. And that makes you feel like you're kind of living your life alone. In body, I'm seeing this direct obstacle right at the start. Just tell me that other people, other ideals, other problems are always pushing against you as you try to accomplish things. That is making you feel like you can't really get anywhere. It's a hard push. And I am sorry, that is frustrating. It's the only thing in body. Body is what you are physically doing to the world, or like what you're doing labor wise, or what your work is. And all I'm seeing is this conflict. And because it's alone, but it's close to the spotlight, I'm really viewing this thing where you feel like you have to do so much. And as a result, you choose to do nothing, which is super relatable. A lot of things are happening here in material, though. This is how the world's affecting you. I'm seeing whimsy, which is telling me that other people have a lot of control over what you may or may not be able to do. And because you always feel like you're at the whims of other people and what they want to ask of you, you feel like you can't do much. I also see the tongue wound here with the caterpillar. It feels like you have been gathering things to make your cocoon for a long time, but you're not able to actually spin it and make it yet. This is because you feel like you're not able to speak for yourself. This probably means that there's a lot of things you're biting your tongue on, you feel like you can't say. And I would say this is a very underlying issue. It feels like you're not recognizing how important it is that you don't feel like you can speak for yourself. Because once you do recognize it or are able to take care of it, Wise Witch, you're still coming up. I have to keep scrolling really far up in the chat to get the right order. I also see Soul down here. Soul is really lovely and delightful. But it's telling me it's very edge of material and spirit. A lot of other people are helping decide who you are and what your identity is at your core. And that's really stopping you from being able to say what it is you want to do. I think so much of what I'm already seeing right here is that you just need to be able to tell people what it is you want to accomplish, what it is you would like to do, and spend less time on what everyone else is deciding you should be doing. And even if that means you just do one small thing, that is the step in the direction to making choices, right? In spirit, I see the betrayer, I see other in the fears, and I also see rays out in winter. I'm wondering what the betrayer is. A lot of the time I read the betrayer as being someone else, but right now I feel like it's telling me that this was kind of what's in your heart. You feel like you're constantly betraying yourself. This could be because you're constantly letting other people make choices for you. It could be because you feel like you're your own self-sabotage. But the fact that you have fear over here that's deep within, it's like deep to your core. Your fear is of other people. You are letting yourself kind of Jekyll and Hyde yourself because you are internalizing what everyone else either wants you to do or what you think they want you to do. And what's being suggested way out here in winter is that for your heart and your emotion and your feelings, you need to just cut this all down. You need to just eliminate everything that you have as a preconceived notion of what you're supposed to be doing. And if you can do that, you can rebuild what you would like to do. And just every time that you start to think, oh, but I don't think Mom would like that, or I don't think Jeff would, I don't think Mary, it's like just, I don't think what other people, blah, blah, blah. No, none of that thinking. You have to start entirely from, what do I want to accomplish today? What do I want to think about today? So it's time to just throw this all away. Throw away everything everyone else has given you. Faye, you can go down on the campaign page to updates, returning diviners, and that will be all the same information I gave on the dice update. All right, I hope that was helpful, my dear Give Coffee. Oofda. Okay, up next is... I'm seeing... Is that true? Wow. This is so far back. I'm going to do the thing that I said I should. And I'm going to write down who all is in line. Just to save myself the rolling up and down over and over and over. Okay, so up next would be Austina. If you have a question, Austina, send it while I figure out who else. Then I have SJ. Angela. Gun. Susan. Slater. Megan. Wow. There's a lot more than I realized. I didn't realize how many people were here. I love you all. Faye. Angela is the one who removed from the list. Wise Witch. I am so sorry, Wise Witch. I thought you were like just one or two away. We already have like 6 people on this list. I'm doing such a good job at reading. I'm sorry that all I'm doing right now is reading. Apocalypse. That's not how you spell apocalypse. I know how to spell apocalypse. I don't know why I just did that. I'm such a silly dummy dumb. Nick 2. I think that was everyone. Okay. Whew. Midwesterner spotted. Wait, who just called out Midwesterners, and how do you know that's me? All right, I did it. I made notes of everyone who has asked for a reading. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 more readings to do. I will do my best to fit them all. We have about 48 minutes for this reading stream ends, and then I actually have to go get Tom Bombadil food and litter because he ran out of food last night, and that's why he's mad at me. So that's okay. Tim Jennings Hill. I think you missed me on the list. I definitely don't have you written down, so you'd be correct. Let's see, Tim. Where? Can I control F? No, not like that. Oh, yeah, you asked right here. Tim Jennings Hill. Okay. Yep, you fit right before Apocalypse Girl. Thank you for pointing that out. Wonderful. Oh, thanks, everyone. Oofda. Yeah, I did Oofda. You're not wrong. Vincent, the keys are launching in 522 days. That's far. You are correct. My biggest goal in life is to do a wonderful job right now in my life at making money so that I can take a break and work on the keys. That would be really delightful. Austina, I'm not treated well by my husband. Have a hard time making decisions. Most days have a feeling of unhappiness and dread. Doing the best I can just to get through the day. Just lost my beloved cat, who looked just like yours. Mid-60s, like romance. I do a lot of volunteer work. I'm a board member at Art Center. I feel I'm not respected. My voice is never heard. Okay. What do you want? What is kindness you can do? What motions can you take? Let's start with a base of the seasons. What is the relation? What action can you take? Okay. Austina, let's take a look. Okay. Verging on the core here, we have the longing for isolation, the longing for lonesomeness, a longing to be alone. I would say that really tantamount right now is a need for you to have space where other people aren't. This would be your husband. This would be the volunteer work, the art center. You really need space that is for you and you alone. And I would agree that everything you're saying sounds like you really need to have spaces for isolation where you get to live there, just you. I see sorrow and go. Go is definitely pointing backwards here. I am seeing that you feel like a lot of the things that you've worked on and tried to create for yourself are moving in the wrong direction right now. And that has you feeling like things just aren't working. And as a result, it feels difficult to want to make anything work. I am seeing gift giving up here. You have a need to give things to other people. This has kind of been a recurring theme. Maybe we're all just giving a little too much of ourselves. You feel like you really need to hand things off for other people, and that kind of dominates a lot of what your choices are. This is why you maybe often make choices that give to other people. That's why you're volunteering. You feel like you are supposed to give to other people. And maybe part of this is reactive to the rest of your life, where you feel like if you keep giving gift, you will receive gift. And that doesn't always work super well. In body, on the edge, we have raise. We'll come back to raise. I want to talk about it in conjunction with the carriage. But we have giving for sure. You are constantly paying out to other people. This is like the earnings face. It's a hand handing a coin to another hand, but this is upside down, and it's leaning out towards summer. It's telling me that you, in majority of the work that you do, are constantly just giving things. You're giving your labor, you're giving your time, you're giving your money. Paired with the mind here of gift giving, I'm going to give you a really quick warning that so much of where you're at right now and why you're feeling just really drained and like you give everything and no one respects or accepts, gives anything back maybe for all the work you do, is that you have really built this concept for yourself that you have to give, period. It's the only thing you can do. So on body to material, we have raise. This is the actions die. It's telling me you have to cut things down, burn them to the foundations and start again. And it's here with the wagon or the chariot. This is essentially the chariot of tarot. It's telling me that you've kind of come full circle on some journeys. There are some things that maybe have outlived their usefulness in your life. These can be maybe specific places that you do a lot of volunteer work at, maybe being a board member at the art center. Maybe at a certain point, what you're doing there has already been completed. Maybe the good work that you intended to do there is already done. And what you need to do now is burn it down so you can start again. You don't get to do new things until you let go of some of the things you're doing. It sounds like you're already quite busy. So I would say, let things go that you've already finished the journey on. If you've finished the story, you've already finished everything you can do there. Stop doing it. Stop being there. If you don't feel like you're being heard or listened to, sometimes it's worthwhile really stepping down and saying, like, get with it, join me or get out of the way. But it sounds to me like some of this is stuff you just need to move on from. You have more to do in your life. I know you're saying you're in your mid-60s. Sometimes people feel that when they're at a certain age, they can't do new things. But you absolutely have the time and space in your heart to make room for new things. You have new journeys to take. You have new actions to hop on board. And if you find that you can't get rid of this sense that you have to give to the world, then it's worth finding new places to do that, where you're actually going to be respected and adored for what you're doing. I'm also seeing an obstacle, just straight up conflict with nothing on either side. It's telling me that generally where you're trying to give, people are pushing back, and that's all you're receiving in return. You don't receive anything else. That is the sign to pick new things. It's not saying that you can't be proud of what you have done in the past. You can. Those are good things, but now it's time to make a new thing. In spirit, I am seeing rejection on the relations die. You feel like people are pushing you away, and that is a huge part of why everything over here just feels like it's against you. I also see in your heart in winter, just dominating all of the feelings that you are feeling, is flight on the spring die. You already know everything I'm telling you. You already want to do new things. I think the key thing here now is recognizing what it is that's keeping you from going and doing the new things and letting go of that. Uh, I am not a professional counselor. I am not a therapist. I am not telling you that it's time to quit your jobs and your volunteer work and divorce your husband and run away. But if that's what you feel like you should do, thinking about this and hearing this message, then I think you should take action to do what is right for you, because you have an incredibly giving heart. And that's something that I don't think you're supposed to change. I don't think you should change giving. I think that you just have to find a new home for where that can go. Pack your bags and move away is sometimes the answer. SJ, my dear SJ, it is your turn. You did not ask a question, so I will give you a minute to give me your question. Otherwise, I will move on to the next on the list, which should be Susan Slater. Susan Slater, if you have a question, please shoot it in the chat. I would love to have the questions on hand. Well, Senna, if easier. Oh, wow, SJ, you're all over it. Thank you. Senna, we love you. My work, social, family lives have been in a state of stasis because things from one directly affect others, and the reverse. I feel I'm going through motions, not living. Fair enough. We need the pillars. We love that. Not you. Maybe. What is the ouchie here? You need a little bit of play. You need a little bit of progress. Let's do a little exchange with Summer. Cool. SJ and Susan, thank you. Yeah, just looking at the project right now, we're doing fantastic. We are 22 minutes live, and we are at $11,000, about to become $12,000. Thank you, everyone, for being here. One of the things I hadn't mentioned is that I'm going to be doing a reading stream later tonight. I will announce it on social media and everywhere that I announced it earlier. I'll also announce it on this project, of course. And I'm going to lay out a schedule on the project here that will be when I'm going to be doing streams, when I'm going to be doing AMAs, interviews and stuff. So stay tuned. There'll be many more chances to get your stuff read, because I need 1,000,001 people to give me $1 so that this project can make $1 bajillion and let me take a break so that I can work on the keys themselves. All right, Senna, let's take a look. All right, Senna, we don't have a core to this reading proper. We have some options. Astina, I love that for you. Little heart for you. I love you. You're wonderful. I have faith in you. You are a kind, sweet, giving person, and it's worthwhile being that. So keep being that. Thank you. All right, Senna. In the core, verging out in different directions, we have scavenging. This is on mind and body. This suggests to me that what you're thinking about and what you're doing is really like set in a space where you and other people in relation to you are scavenging from what you're offering. So I would say that you're probably correct. You're going through the motions right now. And I feel like you're feeling that, but I also feel like maybe other people are feeling that too. We have goals over here on the pillars die. The pillars die is a die that focuses on what is kind of at core for you, and in your mind there are goals. So I'm actually so curious what that means for the rest of the reading and why you're only going through the motions right now, because you have goals. That's a core part of how you think about things. So what's going on here? We have water and the crown. This is a really big deal. The crown is actually like on the head of scavenging. These feel like really strangely contradictory almost. Water is in between mind and body. It's telling me like you can be formless. You can fit whatever container you're in. You can work towards whatever's occurring. You can do this, but you're not, and you're just picking at what is available. In body, I'm seeing radiance, which this is a summer die in summer. This is its strongest position. It's really relevant. But radiance is not doing anything. Body is supposed to be the space where we talk about what you're doing in the world. I don't get it. You're not doing. You're like vibing. You're putting out energy where people feel like you're still there and present. And maybe even for some people, it's exactly what they want from you, but you're not doing. Way out here in summer, we have competition for play. There's an experience generally going on for what people are doing that they feel like there's competition, and that might make you feel like you're experiencing some level of competition, but the competition isn't accomplishing anything. You might even be looking at things in a competing sense in your life right now, and because you realize that you can't compete with the other things that are happening, you just are not acting. Which is strange, because it feels like you have goals, or like you're kind of a goal-oriented person. So this is definitely a temporary moment. This isn't how it's supposed to be for you, and it's not how it typically is. Over here in material, we have the Tempter. And that's a heavy one. This is the Creature's die from the Misery Tarot's dice. The Tempter is someone or something that is in your life right now that feel like, ooh, this may be a really personal heavy one. I'm gonna do this a little brushed over, but this is maybe something that is actually super huge for the reading, but it's something that I think that you and I would need to have like a personal reading for, Senna. So if you reach out by email or something, maybe we can talk about it a little bit. But suffice to say, there's someone involved here who is a victim, and it's not the person who thinks that they're the victim. And this is connecting over here quite a bit to me. There is a wound in your heart right now. Emotionally, you feel like you've been really harmed in a really, really bad, cruel way. And there is personal growth and change that should be happening right now that is really being affected by what's going on here with this personal harm. So I would say that there's probably like a key wound here that you need to unpack and think about. That is like, there's so much happening up here. There's a lot that could be happening in your mind, how you're acting in the world. But I feel like there's something deep. There's an underlying ouch going on here that is stopping you from making progress in every way. You're saying right now you're applying for a job you're not qualified for, but I'm not sure. I think you're probably qualified, or if you're not, you could still do it really well. I think you're a very capable person. You're goal oriented. There's competition, but you should match up to that based on what I'm reading. That is the kind of person that I think you are. But unrelated to any of it, unrelated to the job you're applying for, something hurt you in a way that makes you now question your worth and value as a person. And it's really deep and personal, and it's something that you have to work through. Not necessarily first, but it's something you're going to have to work through while you go through the motions to make things still happen. So I would focus on understanding what the key harm is and trying to unpack it so that you can work through it. It will help you stop feeling like you're going through the motions, because a big part of that space of dissociation or depression comes from being hurt and not recognizing it yet, or maybe not understanding how deep the hurt was. Okay. Sorry if that's a heavy one. Sorry. I just trying to read what I see. Susan. Slater. I couldn't tell the difference between a C and an L in my handwriting. That's not a good sign. Susan Slater, please. If you have your question, please let me know. Oh, you said relationship reading. You already did. Thank you. Relationship we can do. I'm going to go tried and trusty seasons. No, that's not what I want. And I want the relation because relations. And what do you want? What do you want? All right, Susan. Senna, okay. Well, don't be crying, hopefully, or crying a good, positive, working through things or thinking about things way. Okay. Oh, what? Vincent, no, don't tell me that. Oh, that's a problem. Hold on. Everyone. I need half a second. Faye, the guidebook for the Keykeeper set is the Keykeeper's guidebook. It's not the seasons one. Someone just told me that in my pledge levels, two things are the exact same, and I'm like, well, that's definitely not true. The Goblin's Divination Collection is the same as no, Vincent, there's a second line in that description that says that it also is grabbing standard editions of Hot Housewives and Misery Tarot. Okay. Yeah, it's the second line, so I'm wondering if it actually has like a read more that you have to click. But okay. Susan, my dear. Let's take a look. And you're saying it might be a lot. You're not wrong. I'm already seeing it. I'm seeing a spotlight from the attentions die in the core with a memento. Woof. You're very witnessed in this desire for your relationship, or in your relationship. Is there already a relationship happening? Maybe I'll find out on my own here. We'll see. But you're very, very like on the spot. You feel like the other person's really like observing you, and maybe not the way that you wanted. You see very seen. You feel very seen. And again, it's like you're on stage and there's a spotlight on you. It's not like one person's admiring you. It feels like you're being almost examined or witnessed, and that can be good, but it depends on your feelings about it. And right now in mind, I'm seeing the devil face from the fantasy die, which is telling me like you probably feel like you're losing in some way. The memento is really curious relationships. Memento. This is like memento mori, right? It's like remembering that like time passes and we will be dead someday, which is totally a happy, light, and fun thing for relationship reading, I'm sure. There's a lot happening in your heart, so maybe a lot of answers will come here. But right now you feel like you're losing a fight of some kind. The pledge tiers section of the main page. It would help if I could click on things in a way that works. Oh, okay. I see you. Thank you, Vincent. I will fix that. I would have to fix the image, so that'll take a little bit longer. So I'll get to that after this stream is done. Thank you for pointing it out, though. Okay. Embody how you're affecting the world. I see tin again on its own. Tin is not a die that wants to be alone. It's suggesting that you have a feeling that what you're doing in your life and in this relationship perhaps needs another half to work. This is a need that is not particularly positive when it's on its own. It suggests that if you feel like you're failing and things aren't working, but you also feel like you have to have another person there for things to function, there's a big potential for codependency to form. I also see time over here in body, which is verging on materials, telling me that you feel like you have limited time. And like, if you don't act now and you don't leap into this relationship, which either is already here or is starting, I'm not sure, that you won't have other options. And so I do want to point out too that like this is a recipe for you to get yourself in somewhere that is not going to be positive for you. Or if you're already there, you feel like you don't have the time to like make another relationship. And that, again, that's not good. Number one, remove the time die. You have your entire life to form relationships of any kind, no matter how old or young you are, no matter what your goals are for that relationship. You can always do it later. You can always find someone later. So if you feel like you have no choice, you have to do what's here now, that can leave you in that position. Nothing else material. Everything else is in your heart here in spirit. I see the sun, which is in the wrong quarter by a really bad way. So it's kind of weak. It's telling me that there is joy here, but it's a little dampened. I see separated people along with the ghost. I'm seeing that there's haunting. Oh my God. Yeah. This is everything I already said. The ghost with people apart is literally you feel haunted by this concept of being separated from someone. This is really reading to me as like codependent situations. You feel like if you aren't with someone, like you're going to lose that option. That's just not good. That's putting a lot of your value and worth in another person and thinking that you are maybe only full if the other person is there. And this is just your reminder that you are already a beautiful, incredible, full person with all of your own abilities and skills and capabilities. And like, it's definitely time for you to recognize like your value and worth, because that might hugely change what you're doing here. I see disrepair. There are things that you're definitely letting fall into disrepair in your heart, things that make you feel happy and fulfilled. And the reason that they are in disrepair is because you're putting a lot of effort and focus into maybe pleasing another person so that they will stick around and also be another person in your life. But I see over here, the thing that you really want, there's the longings die. I see movement. You long for movement. You want things to change. You really, really would like things to shift and grow and move in new ways. But everything else here is like, I'm staying the same. I need to stay the same. I need to maintain this relationship or focus on this relationship that's starting, whatever it is. And I'm just going to point out to you, no, you don't. No, you don't gotta. You don't gotta. You actually want change. You really do. You're really afraid that if you don't lock in what you have now, that you will be alone in two different spots, I'm seeing. But the joy that you're feeling in this position is not actually very fulfilling, and it will wither the longer it goes. So my advice is accept that you are actually already perfect and beautiful and whole on your own, but you will have a chance for a relationship down the road with someone, even if you are full and whole on your own. You want that change. You really do. Megal? I have a name here. It says Megal. If Megal is here, please hop in. I would love to give you a reading real quick. Faye also would like a little reading. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 more people here. If people, if Megal, Faye, Wise Witch, Tim Jennings, Apocalypse, or Nick 2 have simple questions, I'm happy to do small readings. We're definitely almost out of time. We have 20 minutes left. Are the guidebooks for the dice included? I'm getting the wooden box set. Yes, Witchy, they are included. You will get the guidebooks for whatever set you get. Hey, Sasha, the Seasons Die Face Oracle deck and Lord cards are the same as last time, yeah? Yes, they are. The Seasons Die Face Oracle is the exact same, and the Lord cards for them is the exact same. Megan, you're correct. I wrote Megal, but I do believe it should be Megan. Megan, what's your question? What do you need? What do you need, friend? Nick 2 would like to know, what is my purpose? Megan, shoot your question in the chat and we will hop on it. Nick 2, hopping to you because you're right here, my dear friend. Iron, you are meant to be a protector of something. In your mind, I see a lot of disrepair and loss. It's suggesting to me, Nick 2, that you are in a position where you've lost things before, and so it would be really wonderful for you to work on protecting other people from that loss, maybe even protecting yourself from that loss. I see a lot of self-reflection here that leans toward woe, which suggests to me that where you're at in your life right now will really push you into like a troublesome, depressive area if all you do is focus on things that haven't worked for you. And as a protector for other people, it helps you enact the protection that maybe you wish that you'd had. So I'm gonna say that number one, the thing you're really looking for is helping other people, because it'll help you work through some of the things you feel haven't worked for you. I see the wobbly wheel between body materials telling me that the things that you're offering maybe aren't always going to be perfect, but that they're still going to work and they're going to come with love, and people are really going to appreciate what you offer them in this support. I'm also seeing in your heart this place of storing your own righteous anger, maybe, in supporting others and defending others and even fighting on behalf of others. You're actually going to build a storage in your heart and your feelings that will help you face up to some of the things that you have yourself that are really difficult to look at. And in helping others, whether that's volunteering or hearing a friend's woes and then taking action to help them work through it, whatever it is, as a protector, you are going to create a storage of your own strength, which is going to help you face up to some of the things that have broken down and that you're not quite ready at the moment to reflect on. Sorry, everyone, I'm going into quicker mode just to hopefully get to everyone who did sign up. Megan, thank you for putting a question. Topic is moving past relationships, romance, sex anxiety, and openness that is away from fear. I'm going to give you a Keykeeper reading because the Keykeeper dice are delightful. Oops. I definitely didn't just hit a button. Don't worry about it. In your core, I see tell with the or. Megan, a lot of what you have to do right now is a lot of work. You can't go with the flow of how things are moving in your life. The or on Tell's die is about pushing through things. Specifically, it's being on the boat and rowing against the current or the breeze. You have to lower the sails, and what you're doing right now is going to be your work. Because it's right here on body and material, it's telling me it is both in how people are interacting with you and how you're interacting with other people. The active labor that you're going to be doing right now is going to be pushing against the stream. So number one, you have to recognize that this is going to be labor. This is not like, oh, in time it'll heal. You're going to have to make active efforts to make this work out. We have fell, dream in the mind. A lot of this is respecting your unconscious space. The work that you're going to have to do is learning to be accepting of where you're at thinking. So if you have these issues with relationship, romance, the sex anxiety, so much of it is you're going to have to start listening to your body and your knee-jerk reaction to things before you can move forward. You have to kind of like diagnose your brain. What is it actually thinking when you're talking about sex anxiety? You're going to have to put yourself in maybe a few situations that are not uncomfortable. Like you're like, I don't want to be here. This is actually traumatic. I'm saying put yourself in situations that are discomforting in minor ways and build up. For like sex anxiety, through that myself, I began going to like gay bars for kink events and stuff, and started putting myself out there in a way that I could be seen and interacted with in ways that normally made me really worried and scared. And part of doing that was respecting that this is the thing that I'm worried about. So if I put myself in these situations in ways I have control, not in ways where you just throw yourself to the wolves, but put yourself in situations where you have control, think about what you're feeling and try to understand what it actually is and recognize that you're not in danger. Mind and spirit here, we have wound. Wounds die. This is the gathering bee. It looks like you need to really gather a lot of mental and emotional support. I think that what I was just saying is a big part of that, putting yourself in situations where you have control and can leave if you aren't comfortable, but you need to put yourself in a situation where you feel like you can build up confidence in yourself sexually, bodily, physically. Body, what you should be doing. I see mal, pain, and fuel the rising moon. You need to. It's just going to be a repeat. I'm so sorry. There is physical and mental pain that you're going through bodily in what you're going to be doing, but it is entirely with the intent of intuiting and understanding what's happening. I need to stop giving advice before I read the rest of the dice because sometimes they say the exact same thing. At least I know it's working. Nothing material. What you're doing is not related to what other people are doing. It's not related to what people are doing to you. It is entirely internal and personal. What you are doing, the actions you're taking, are for you and you alone. In spirit, the last one here is sin, bones. I need to take my own advice and stop telling you things before I read everything. Sin, bones. You need to see the bones of the problem. In order to know the bones of the problem, you have to put yourself in situations that start the discomfort so that you can pinpoint what it is that makes you uncomfortable. Way out here, lost away. It's not lost. It's just in winter. We have Weir's Die opening. That actually is kind of boring. It's just relating to the question directly. In order to get into a space where you feel like you can open your emotional space and your like personal shared space of the world, you're going to have to be able to do this labor. And this is the labor. This is it. You got to put in active labor to put yourself places where you can begin to understand what's happening. And also, maybe completely unrelated, but listen to your dreams. So often our dreams relate to the things that we're struggling with. And so if you're patient and you're listening to what your dreams are telling you, sometimes you can understand what your unconscious mind is worried about and what it's fearing. All right. I hope that was helpful. Faye, my question was a health reading specifically regarding seeking balance in my life with chronic illness needs. But if that's too complex, no. There's no such thing as too complex. We're gonna project it up. What are you? Yeah, okay. I think that's helpful. No. Yes. Yes. Just because I'm getting mileage out of the fantasy die today. Here's what we're doing. Yeah, Megan, they were very clear. They harped on the same thing over and over. Sometimes that's helpful, you know? All right, Faye, let's talk about your health, my friend. I see whimsy here on the core to material. It's telling me that your chronic illness needs are constantly probably not being met based on the whimsy of other people. The reason that you're constantly dealing with the seeking of balance in your life with chronic illness needs is because other people just aren't being particularly supportive. On one day, they are aware of it and they think about it, and other days they don't. I have immediate advice I want to share, but then I'm like, don't do that. Go read the rest. In mind, I see explosion. This is the redacted die. There are a lot of things that have gone missing because chronic illness has entered your life, or is part of your life. Sorry. And as a result, you've actually lost a lot of space to make some of your own choices or to have clear agency in situations in a way that you just don't quite get back. Recognizing that is going to be a really big part of being able to speak for yourself. GD or any of the tiers, including the reading journals, they're purely add-ons. I was going to have too many pledge tiers. So the reading journals are purely add-ons. Body propaganda. Okay. What you're dealing with, Faye, is a lot of people telling you what your chronic illness needs are and deciding for you what your limitations will be. I do see the knot right here that I feel like is actually personal. You actually had a pretty simple thing here of like enforcing your boundaries and letting people know when things don't work for you. Uh, but unfortunately, it's become very tangled, and it's heavily because other people are building this propaganda in your mind for you. That's what the explosion, I think, in the mind is about. Other people have kind of been programming you because it's really hard to advocate for yourself. Number one, I'm recognizing that. I am not at all saying it's your fault, because it's not. Um, but other people keep deciding what your limitations are or aren't, and that has really changed how you feel about standing up for yourself and telling people what your needs are. Um, this is this is a really hard one, because the advice gets to be like, you just need to advocate for yourself more. Tell people when you have limitations. But that's so hard to do. So I just want to commiserate first and let you know, like, I fully understand why this is the like uh, the difficult thing to be told, because it's like kind of not very helpful advice, because it doesn't actually solve the problem. But a lot of what I'm seeing is like, you had clear routes forward, but it's become really complicated because people keep controlling what you say, or changing how it's interpreted. I do see the memento down here in material, telling me that like other people maybe are pressing their ideas of what your illness is onto you all the time, and that's why you're kind of at their whimsy. In spirit, I'm seeing milkweed, like there is a space for rest here where you're trying to recuperate and maybe rally yourself to stand up and help set what the boundaries are in your life. Um, oh, we have fear of ourselves and the demon. Okay, I think that there might be a space now where, because it's become this like constant fight and enemy, you've created this sense that anytime you start thinking about your chronic illnesses and what you need, and also the boundaries with other people, you keep looking at stuff and being like, okay, it's becoming an insurmountable enemy now, and I feel like I can't trust myself to fight it anymore. Number one, that's fake. You do have the power and the choice to make a lot of these decisions. You do have the ability to stand up for yourself. But the question becomes, where is it worth setting these boundaries? This knot has been made because other people have made it into a real issue. I think that it's time for you to draw some lines for yourself on where it's worthwhile advocating and where it's not. Because asking you to take up full power in setting you boundaries is really difficult when the problem itself is chronic illness and you're trying to find balance. There are some places where being other people's whimsy is fine, right? There are places where you just go, fine, yeah, you're right, whatever. I will just push through this hard thing. Or, yeah, okay, that was an accommodation I didn't need made for me, but I'm just going to accept it, because explaining why it's not helpful isn't useful at the moment. I think that after you have some rest in stopping trying to have some power in some of these situations, you will regain the energy to start laying out the boundaries and explaining to certain people what you need and what you don't need, so that they can help enforce the boundary on their end themselves. All right. I hope that was actually helpful. Chronic illness is hard, and it's really hard to be the one to make decisions like that. But I think that's generally helpful, to just take a breather, let things fall for a little bit as they are, and when you have the energy again, then you can push. Fear and ramen. I'm inexperienced with Oracle dice. Maybe this is a silly question, but can the two dice sets be mixed? Yes, I've been doing it all day. Yeah. Could I do a reading with the base seasons and Keykeeper dice, or a combo like that? Absolutely. You can mix them however you want. They also have two-sided reading grids each, and you can mix them how you want. Vincent, yeah, look at Germany or Austria for other non-UK Western Europe options. It'll be similar. Generally, they're pretty similar for a lot of some of those regions. I have Wise Witch, Tim Jennings, and Apocalypse. I know that the stream technically ends in 5 minutes, but I can just kind of push it to last a little bit longer. I just want to get these last three done. So if you are still here, please let me know your question. Wise Witch, Tim Jennings, and Apocalypse. And I will get to you still. I'm going to extend the... Oh, I'm in the wrong tab. Like, I can't extend the reading if I am in the wrong space. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, we'll extend it by 30 minutes so I can fit these last 3 readings. I will be swift as the wind. All right, Tim Jennings Hill. I'm 48. My sons have graduated high school. I no longer have a lot of daily responsibilities. I'm feeling a bit unmoored and have a lot of free time that I didn't have before. Okay, I'm in. Because someone just asked, I will mix some Keykeepers with some Seasons. Wherever the Seasons just went. Seasons. Okay, I'm going to read these. Tim, for you, my dear friend. Memory Face Studios. Will there be an add-on that is just the dice set? I would like spare dice for both since I'm terrified of losing any. Memory at this time, that is not intended at all. The dice sets come in like a set box now, and my goal is to only release them that way. The reason I'm avoiding doing piecemeal little bits here and there, like a little of this, a little of that, oh, you can get just the dice, you can get just the book, you can get just the cloth, is because that becomes a logistics nightmare for the fulfillment team. I already have a ton of items in here, and the more I break it down, the more I have to be like, okay, make 1,000 full sets of the Seasons, but then also we'll need 40 spare just the dice for the Seasons so that we can ship some of those out. So at this time, I'm not considering that. I can be swayed, and in time, if a lot of people are asking for it, that's something I might do. And then I might just have like spare sets available. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's become unmoored. This went off screen, so I'll just move it up a little. All right, Vincent. Tim Jennings Hall. Let's take a look. Oh, this is sweet, actually, already. I love how quickly I can look at something and be like, oh, this is kind of cute. So we're going to start in the core with snow. And it's verging on spirit. This is just really precious. Tim, you are being really nostalgic, is a simple way to put it right now. You're thinking so much about raising your kids, what it's meant to have them in your life, your daily responsibilities, yeah, but like also one of the biggest things that you feel like you are now losing is the space of emotional fulfillment that this history has brought you raising your kids. And that's really sweet and kind. Normally I warn you that like snow is putting soft edges on your rose tinted glasses, right? Like all the details, you're forgetting the bad stuff. But like that's not important here. What I'm seeing is like you're thinking so much about like what do I do now? Sure, but also how do I be happy now? Like what things bring me joy now that I don't have my sons here and all the things that I experience with them. We have the compass here in mind. This is just relating to your question. You're looking for alignment. You're looking for what's the next thing. Where do you set course for here? Out in spring, we do have radiance, which is telling me that like things are so beautiful. Oh my God, Vincent, that's so funny. I already fixed that, but I didn't put it on the page. My bad. I'll do that too. So radiance out in spring. This is really, really just saying that like there's this radiating goodness that is like in your mind right now that you're thinking about. Again, you're just thinking about like having purpose and having goals and stuff with your kids, and you don't have that right now. So you're like, gosh, like what do I do? But also like, who do I do it for? What do I do it to feel? Or how do I be fulfilled now? That is what your question was. The dice are just, I guess, mirroring it here to point out that was your question. How helpful. In body, I'm seeing stores. This is what you do. Typically, you are putting work out into the world and it kind of goes into storage and it becomes something that you can rely on for later. This tells me that like a lot of things that maybe you did with your sons was like setting things up to be pulled on later. I'm going to tell you right now, you probably don't have to do as much now. This can be as simple as like when you go grocery shopping, get less. You don't need a ton of stuff so that your kids, your boys can munch out of the pantry or something. think about your life now as being about you and a partner, if there's a partner involved. Think about how what you get to do now is create stores of energy and focus and drive for yourself. That's step number one, is start thinking about who you are and what it is you necessarily want. Coming down here into autumn, I have disrepair. There's some stuff out and around you, relationships with other people, your friends, maybe even family, but more likely friends, or maybe even coworkers, something like that, that you have kind of let fall into disrepair over time because you had kids. It might be worthwhile rekindling relationships with other people who you haven't seen in some time, especially friends who maybe fully disappeared from your life when you had kids. I know that's a really weird one because it's been like 18, 19, 20 years, but that's still worth it. You get to explore new hobbies. You get to explore new relationships and friendships again, that you now have time for. So maybe it's time to go look at those. It doesn't have to be specifically people you haven't talked to in 20 years. Yeah. Hi, Genonymous. Thank you. We also have feels tracking and Mal's yearning. This is actually really great. Big part of what you're yearning for and to fill in your life is maybe tracking what has already passed through. These are things that in the last several years have come into your life. You thought that could be cool, but there's no time for that right now. Go back to it. Find the breadcrumb trail and pick up back on where it was going. This could be a new hobby. It could be a class. It could be a whatever, something that you saw on TV in an ad, something you got a flyer for. And you're like, oh gosh, maybe I do have time to go take jujitsu, whatever it is. You need to go track down the things that you let come and go in the past, because there is space for you to have your own hobbies or a new direction or new career, whatever it is you're trying to fulfill your life with. Like, these things have already come and gone. You were just too busy for them, but now that you're not, it's time to pull them out from the shoebox under the bed and be like, what were they again? What were the things that I had? What were my dreams? What were my goals? We have Tell or here on Wheel and Spirit. I'm going to be honest, like, the more work that you put in here, the more fulfilling this is all going to be for you. Change your routine completely. Just start doing new things. There will be people who are like, is this a midlife crisis? No, it's not. It's a midlife, like, reappraisal. You're thinking about what new things you can do, and the aura is telling me, like, you have to make the action to make it happen. Things aren't going to fall in your lap, but that's okay. You have the time now. So put in effort to make it unfold. And release. The nostalgia is really great. It's beautiful. It's not something you have to let go of necessarily. You can keep your memories of raising your kids and all the experiences in the house and whatnot. But it is time to let go of that as your primary motivator of what brings you joy. You have the space and capacity to be like, I can do anything now. So create new emotional anchors in your life that are things that you specifically want to do. It's not what your kid wanted to do. It's not, whatever sport or hobby or after school curricular things they were doing. Now you get to do the extracurricular stuff and create new anchors for yourself. So I hope that's helpful, Tim. I know that I basically just told you what your question was and then repeated it back to you, but it looks like there are things that you have already had access to that were really good and positive for you that you chose not to follow up on. And now is your time. All right. Wise Witch and Apocalypse. If either of you are still here, now is your time to give me your question or remind me of it, because there's so much up to do in this chat to get to a question if you gave me one before. I'm sorry. I should have written down these things. Wise Witch, I believe you actually did have a question, but I don't know if you're even here anymore. If you have the time, can you give me a reading about my current job? Apocalypse Girl, you're still here. Cool. Hit me with a question. Yeah, just checking in on the timing. We are at 12:05 for me, so we have been live for an hour and 5 minutes, and we are at $21,000, which is awesome. We have 160 backers. We have 21 days left. The backer train is going. It looks like it keeps getting reset, pretty common. For people who aren't familiar with the backer train it's that lovely thing in the bottom left of the stream here that is showing 160 people on the backer train. Every time someone joins by pledging, it goes back to a 10-minute timer. And then there's 10 minutes for someone else to join the backer train. And that just shows like that there hasn't been a break in backing on the project. And that's just really fun to see. I also don't expect it to break in the first hour or two. That's pretty rare. GD, is there room for another reading? Probably not right now. The stream is supposed to already end, but I've stayed on just a little bit longer. But I'm going to do a reading for Apocalypse Girl, and then I will be on later tonight for additional readings. I'm going to share that in an update on the project this afternoon. So if you can join us later tonight, there will be another stream where I'll be doing readings. And in particular, I will be doing a bunch of reading streams over the life of the project. So if you stay tuned, I will be more than happy to join you with a reading. To join you with a reading. I don't know what that meant. How do I break my creative block? Influence, yearning. How do you break a creative block? These are cool questions. Yeah, sin is helpful. All right, Apocalypse Girl. We're starting out with movement. Number one, you need to just change your situation. Change what you're doing. Change how the world's interacting with you for your creativity. If normally you're just like, oh, ideas come to me. That isn't working right now. You need to like move. You need to go somewhere. You don't have to spend any money. Go outside. Go on a walk to an area that you don't walk to ever. If you don't ever go on walks, then just go on a walk at all. Go sit somewhere strange. Go to a coffee shop or a bar if you're of age, and just sit there and observe and listen and watch. And that's going to be a really, really helpful part. Mind. You have goals, but you also have the balloon I'm seeing. The balloon is telling me that some of the goals and maybe some of the focuses that you have right now are really temporary. They end quickly. This is a big part of the creative block, is that you're making plans for things that pop before they go anywhere. You might be thinking too big is number one. To break a creative block, think small. Do small things. If you go somewhere new, observe and experience things in a simple way. In body, I'm seeing the helm. You are weathering things right now. It sounds like there might be some frustrating things kind of occurring separate to your creativity, and that is something that is maybe taking up some of your energy, and that would be a big part of why you don't feel like you can come up with stuff. This might mean that like things beyond your control are happening that you just feel like you have to just, I don't know, live through, and that's not super exciting, and that's kind of draining your energy to make or think creatively. I am seeing home on without. It's telling me maybe you feel a little bit separated from a home space, which is kind of a healing and resting space. I'm wondering why you aren't going there, or why, if it was just where you already are, why it doesn't feel that way anymore. It looks like you could probably afford to spend a little bit of time recreating a space that gives you rest and rejuvenation, if that's something that doesn't exist anymore, because that might be more important than the creative block at the moment, because once that's solved and you actually feel safe and secure and rested again, it's really easy for the creativity to just strike. Okay. We have the glasses. This is extreme focus and material. It's telling me that outside of you, things are really, really focused. It also could be that you're just way over focused. Ashes and ink, thank you. Have a great night. Get some sleep. It's past 6 a.m. So, yeah, actually, I'm going to say, Apocalypse Girl, like, you are not looking at big picture things right now as far as the world around you is going. And I think that's exactly what you need to be doing. And I don't mean big picture, like, think big goals. I mean, like, you've been really, really focused on really niche, specific little parts of the rest of the world around you. You need to be open to all the things that are happening. And so I'm going to reiterate my thought that you need to just go somewhere weird and new and just like observe the world in motion. Stop thinking about just the things you've been focused on. Stop thinking about the world as just the pinpoints that you're looking at, and broaden it hugely. Just open the can. It's newness. All right. Last parts here. We have this squiggly influences. This is arcane. We have sin, deepest night, and we have an obstacle out here of conflict. In your heart, you feel like things are really, really beyond you. They are things you just don't understand, I think. And so your feelings are really, really being controlled by things you just don't know about. And that makes you feel like you have no control. Deep night is... This is the point when you need to kind of go out and be alone in a new, strange world of your own. I think about like the 4 a.m. moments when you're out with friends as a kid and you're like, the world is different than it has ever been. And I can't believe I'm going to go to sleep and wake up and tomorrow will be another day in my normal routine. I think you need to let yourself be unmoored a little bit and go out in the world and see it in a way that is utterly unrelated to your life and anything you've ever experienced. And that's going to be such an important part. There's still like a conflict going on external to you that's affecting your emotions. I think that has a lot to do with why home feels a little uncentered for you. But that's not something you have any control of. What you do have control of is how you're relating to it. The first thing I would say is recognize that this arcane influence over your heart and your emotions is not arcane and unknowable. This is something you can determine. And Sin, who owns this die, is the dice lord of this die, is the person who reveals the bones of things. And so I think that if you let yourself be a bit unmoored and experience the world in a way that you've never done before, and see things and just see other people living, it's really going to give you a perspective that is going to reveal whatever this arcane influence is that's making you feel a little disconnected from things. And I think it's just going to kind of unravel for you. So hope that helps. Vincent, I just realized I already have the 22 Seasons Lords of the previous booklet and Seasons dice in a pouch, not the box. If the 22 Lords cards are in the box update, I'm guessing my situation is weird. No, Vincent, if you're just getting the box, the new box, it doesn't come with it. The empty box is just an empty box. It's the guidebook that comes with the Lord's dice. It's the empty box comes with nothing. The updated Seasons guidebook comes with the 22 sheets and the 22 seasons. The reason that a lot of people got the 22 season Lord cards already is because it was the thing I gave for free in the first 48 hours to anyone who backed last time. So there'll be some people who get duplicates of the Lord's cards, but that's perfectly okay. It's not factored into the guidebook cost. The guidebook cost was going to be $15 just for the guidebook. And then I added the 22 cheat sheet cards to it. And then I added the Lord's cards. So those are basically just freebies at this point. If you have extras of those, I don't know, they should be fun. Michelle Pawthorne, do the cards come with a guidebook? The cards don't come with the guidebook for the dice, but they do come with a booklet that is in the box, like a little white book. Yep. All right, everybody. I'm actually 15 minutes longer than I intended. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be streaming again yet tonight. I think I'll probably start at 5 p.m. Mountain, but I'm going to announce it on the actual this. I'm pointing at the project. That doesn't help. You can't see that. I will announce in an update, and there'll be a new discussion thread with my timetables, my schedules that I'll release yet today that talks about when else I'll be doing reading streams. It'll also cover when I'm doing AMAs and interviews and everything, because I've planned a lot of things for this project. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the project, and also I'll see you on many other streams. I will try to take care of my voice. All right, I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.